painful.
Yes. He's not that outraged.
Hey, Kay.
Oh, hey.
The show's over, but I saw your note looking for, as a, I guess, new non-theist looking for community stuff.
Well, yeah, I actually recently just left my church, which was a big deal for me. I mean, pretty much my life revolved around it. And
Doing better than Matt.
and I guess I'm just kind of feeling, especially because it's only been within the last month where I actually came out with things and, you know, left the community that I was a part of. I guess I'm just feeling a little bit like I don't have, you know, I've met up with some groups and stuff in the area. I'm lucky to be in an area with a lot of different groups and things going on, the D.C. metro area. But
Yeah.
What kind of things do you do to, I guess I just, you know, feel a bit purposeless?
Yeah, so, I mean, there had to be things that you did when you were a member of the church that, you know, whether you were helping people or, you know, interacting with people, and there's no reason why you can't do those things with secular groups now.
There's a rise of a number of like Sunday assemblies and other organizations like that that are a little closer to kind of church interaction and community building than something like the ACA is, where we're primarily focused on the show and, you know, a couple of meetups and get-togethers.
Yeah, social activities and
lectures. So some are more social and some are more community building. I don't know what there is in your area, but I do know.
I actually live up in the Manassas area. It's close to Manassas, and I got in contact with some of the groups up here. I'm going to be helping out maybe with the Road to Reason show over here.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So
well, one of the things
like I'm doing those kind of things, but it just doesn't feel like. I mean, it's not the same as having that community.
Right.
And you know, where you show up at someone's house, you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning if you really need some help, and you know, it's just tough not having that after you've had it for so many years.
So that's what I'm saying is I don't know if any of these communities exist in your area, but they exist in other places. And if they don't exist in your area, then you can contact the ones that exist in other areas, and they will give you information to help you start one in your area. And I mean, I realize that's a task that not everybody is interested in, but if you get together with people at the various meetups, you might find a group of people who are willing to build that kind of community in that area.
Okay, cool.
So I would look in, search the web for Sunday Assembly, which is one of them. I can't remember the names of the others off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't either. But the other thing is, if you're interested in something similar to the ACA, you can go to our website and feel free to use our bylaws as a template if you want.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
But a lot of these things are organizations, it just takes somebody who's willing to put an ad in the newspaper or post a note somewhere online. And, you know, one of the things you can do is if you start a new organization and you're trying to get some publicity for it, you could always ping me, and at a minimum, I can tweet it. And then if there are people in your area who are following me on Twitter, which is somewhat likely with, I don't know, 33,000 or something like that, then, you know, you might get 1 or 2 people who are interested.
Okay. Do you know if there's anything for, like, because I've, you know, suffered with, like, some depression, and, you know, one of my worries is that that's something I'm going to fall into again. And, you know, I'm kind of, because I've been feeling purposeless, it's, like, been one of those, you know, it's just been one of those things. I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of like a huge breakup, except there's breaking up with everybody that I knew, you know.
Yep.
So here's what I want you to do. Get online and look up Recovering from Religion, the Recovering from Religion Foundation.
Okay. I actually did. I went to one of their meetings.
Okay.
I went to a meeting, yeah.
And there's also a sub-project to that called the Secular Therapist Project.
Yeah.
Where you can connect with a mental health professional that is non-religious, so that if you go in to talk to somebody about depression or anxiety or whatever else, you can be confident that they're not going to fill your head with a bunch of, you need to go back to church or let God take care of it type stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if your depression is in the sort of situation where you would need to see a therapist, but if you do, that project exists. And if it's just getting together with like-minded people, being able, or, you know, with the opportunity to hash things out, Recovering from Religion. Sunday Assembly. There's a handful of others out there as well.
You said it was a secular therapist project?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's helpful. I mean, I've only ever seen therapists, religious ones. So, I mean,
Yeah.
specifically people who advertise themselves,
Yeah,
that way. So.
It's a big need. Anyway, Kay, we're after the
Cool.
show, so thanks for waiting.
Yeah, well, thanks for staying on the line with me. I really appreciate that a lot. I didn't think that would happen, but cool. Thanks.
Yeah, good
You're
luck.
very
And
welcome.
if you start an organization, be sure and ping me, and we'll tweet something out.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
publicize it
absolutely.
for you.
And by the way, I think last time I called in, it was you too.
Oh, okay.
God
Oh,
wanted us
cool.
to talk again.
Yep, it must have been that. Anyway, talk to you later then.
All right. Thanks, Kay.
Michael in New York, thanks for waiting through the entire show and not getting your call taken.
That's okay. Actually, I just wanted to just talk to you guys on or off the show. It's an honor.
Yeah, so the question that's listed here is, has anybody ever argued against God with why would God be motivated to create a universe at all type thing?
Well, whether it's the Hitchens guy, like or Harris or you guys, I don't really hear much about how absurd it is when Christians or religious people say, well, God loved us. Why would a being that vast muster love for something infinitely smaller?
Well-
the motives don't make sense.
So when it comes to why would God love us, I think that's kind of an intuitive thing, because if I created something, it's gonna have a sentimental value to me, and not just necessarily a kid. If I created a painting or a video game or whatever, if I did something, if I made something, because I made it, there's some connection where I might like it. I think the bigger question is, which I kind of asked last week, which is why would God create anything at all in the first place? Because if I knew everything,
Yeah.
and it's not like I need to experiment, or it's not like I need to try to do, hey, could I make a universe? I mean, if you're God, you know you can.
Yeah.
And if you know what all the outcome's going to be and all, I don't tend to do a lot of things. There's a reason we don't play tic-tac-toe anymore. And that's because even though there's no guarantee that it's going to be a cat game, there's a virtual guarantee. And there's certainly a reason why we don't play tic-tac-toe with ourselves.
Well, okay, yeah, so that brings up the point. I guess what I mean is, since Christians claim God is perfect, that implies that he has no needs or wants, doesn't it?
Right.
So but I don't hear that argument much on the big debate.
Yeah, I don't hear it a lot either. I've made it a couple of times. I mainly raise it as a question during Q&A periods with some theists and occasionally on the show, because I think it's a good point, but at the end of the day, it doesn't resonate particularly well with theists, because let's say that you're correct, that a God who's perfect would have no need to create anything. That doesn't mean that he didn't create anything, because it could be that they tend to look at it from this idea of love, and so a God doesn't need us and doesn't need to create us, but it's an exercise of his willingness to love and make sacrifices that he created us so that we could experience as well.
But see, that's the thing. Why would he be interested in this in the first place?
Well, it doesn't matter why he's interested in it.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily impossible that he could be interested in this and that represents a failing of his. I don't need to have a kid, but I could have a kid. Now, in case of human beings, people tend to view kids as something that adds to the parents, that makes their lives better and stuff like that. But it's just saying the fact that maybe God was perfect and would have no rational need to create something is valuable, but that doesn't mean that therefore it's unreasonable for God to conclude that God created something.
Oh, sure. It just sounds sillier.
Yes, because
Do you have time for one more question?
if it's really fast.
I guess it won't be. It's about sophisticated arguments. Never mind.
Yeah, we'll have to do it another time.
All right. Thanks again. Great talking to you guys.
Okay,
Thanks.
Bye.